Happy Halloween! Well, I guess this year there isn't much happy about it, huh? Can't really go out to trick or treat. On the right side, Among Us did get an update, and I was able to release this video in time, so you know what? It's not that bad. Anyways, let's commence with the game review. Today we're going to be reviewing Izombie, a game published in 2011 under Awesome Game Studio, the same people who made yet another zombie defense. Despite the fact being released in 2011, it didn't really get noticed until 2016 when it was released for PlayStation 5 and Xbox One. 2 years later, it was released in the Nintendo eShop in 2018. Now what's Izombie about? You clearly aren't asking yourself. Well, Izombie is a game where you are a zombie infecting other people who then join your horde once fully infected, and then you send them out to attack other survivors while solving puzzles on how not to get murdered and what is the best and most efficient route to murder them. Which is a pretty good premise, especially for 2011, where the only other games to do this were Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, and that was only in a game mode which was meant for multiplayer. Unfortunately, a good premise does not mean a good game, and this is one of those cases. Let's start off with the graphics. The graphics aren't bad, definitely not good, and you can definitely see where they were inspired. You can see that they were clearly inspired by Plants vs. Zombies, the original, which came out in 2009, 3 years before this. You can clearly tell it with the main character, how the zombies look, and just the art style in general. You just get a Plants vs. Zombies feeling. Now, while Plants vs. Zombies was a true masterpiece, especially for its time, Izombie is a game that doesn't really strive to do anything different. It has a unique concept, especially for 2011, again, but it doesn't strive anything. It doesn't really do anything else, and it doesn't try to go out and explore this more than it could. Take the campaign, for example. The campaign is short, easy, and doesn't really offer anything. And while having a short and easy campaign isn't a bad thing necessarily, take again Plants vs. Zombies for example, that had a pretty short campaign and it was pretty easy, was still fun and very enjoyable. Here, it's not, because it doesn't really offer anything. It's just the same thing over and over. You walk around some buildings, infect some people, and then you send the infected people to go infect more people. And the puzzles I mentioned earlier are barely there. And the background really doesn't help with this. The background is very bland, especially with the props thrown there, such as the boxes and houses. They all look the same. Like, they're slightly different, like one's slightly wider, one's a little bit more rectangular than the other, one has a different roof, one has a different colored roof, but that's it. It's just houses, boxes, and some grass, with the occasional different props such as a snowman thrown in there. I will give credit where credit is due, and that's the game mechanic of the fact when you infect people, they become part of your horde and you get to control them by making them sit still, sending them to attack people, or making them follow you. That's a pretty cool feature, and even games now in 2020 that have you in control of a zombie don't really use this mechanic, and I honestly think it's a mechanic that more games that put you in the shoes of the zombie should use. It's a pretty cool mechanic. I don't think it's very well done in this game, but just make a game all about that, and I think you would have one of the greatest zombie games of all time. And now, the last and final part of this review, the level editor. Now, the level editor, it's not bad. It's bland, boring, and doesn't really offer you anything, but that's not the level editor's fault, because the level editor mechanics are pretty good. It's just the fact that the game doesn't really offer you. Going back to the props and the background, all you're really given are a few houses, some boxes, survivors, zombies, grass, snowmen, and pathways, and that's it. And while that might sound like a lot, it really isn't. Because, after all, those are literally the same 3 props each time. House, box, and grass, only slightly variated to technically make it a different item. And while I've seen some people make some pretty decent things with the level editor, if the best I've seen anybody do is decent, then that's bad. That's a bad level editor if all people can really do is make something decent or kind of good. And then you can't really even do really special things. There's no like redstone mechanic, quote unquote, where you can't really make the survivors or zombies or the buildings really do anything special. They're just placed down there. The best you can do is make the humans follow certain routes, and that's it. And when that's all you can do, that's pretty bad for a redstone mechanic, quote unquote. And with that, I think we move on to the final verdict. And here we are into the tier list. Wondering why Left 4 Dead is there? I did an entire review on that and everything went wrong. When I uploaded the video, there was no audio and I was just done with that, so I deleted that. We'll see when we get back to that review. But Izombie, where to put you? I want to put it in trash really badly, but the level editor honestly isn't that bad, and you can do some decent things. It's also not that expensive, being the original price $5, and the price I paid, which is the clearance price, be 49 cents. But still, I feel like price shouldn't always be considered. Like, if it's a free game, I feel like I should be nicer to it. That's why I finally decided to put Granny here instead of here, because I didn't have to pay for this game. This game was 100% free. While this game, I had to pay for it and be really sad and disappointed. I think I'm gonna put it... I want to put it in the trash, but that level editor is just... It isn't that bad, and that's the problem. It's boring and bland, which is what would go here, because, you know, Trove is boring and bland. I think Izombie, you go here. This was originally meant to be the first game to go trash, but as writing the notes for the review, technically the script, this is a scripted video, I officially decided that, yeah, no, the level editor isn't as bad as I had remembered when I played it. So, for that, it's gonna meh. I would not recommend it, maybe only at gunpoint. But you know what? If you guys want to waste your money on it, go ahead, be my guest, and I hope to see y'all the next time. Goodbye. Also, if you'd like to subscribe and leave a like or something, that would be appreciated. These videos are pretty difficult to make. And have a wonderful day.